You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. Tigers were on the practice field on Saturday. It was supposed to be full availability for the media. As we all know, the weather came through Saturday, was expected to be and became inclement, but for as long as the team was practicing outside, they let us stay, and that ended up being about an hour. So we got to watch about an hour of drills. It was full pads on Saturday, the fifth practice of spring. It is worth noting, on Tuesday, the media will get to watch the entire practice, and that is expected to be outside, so looking forward to that as well. But in the hour or so of drills that we got to see, there were some things that absolutely jumped out at you. And listen, you don't have to be a scout, a coach, a trained eye to notice some things. There are no doubt some technical things that the higher your acumen, you'll be able to see. But, like, for example, the first time you go to a practice and you see Patrick Peterson as a freshman and he's 6'1", 210, and he's running a 4.3, you're like, maybe not 210, but you're like, okay, that guy looks like a linebacker who's playing corner and runs like a running back. It was crazy. You just could see it. DJ Pickett, Mansour Delane. I will make a prediction today at 3:04 p.m. Central Time on Monday, March the 17th, and tell you that those two guys will be your starting cornerbacks before the 2025 football season is over. It's just different. If you followed along here, we have charted this drill that LSU does. It's the pass catchers against the defensive back. So wide receivers, tight ends against corners and safeties. And over the past couple of years, that drill has been a comedy of errors for the defense. It has just been an avalanche of wins for the offense. I went back and checked my notes from fall camp, this past fall camp, and there was one of the days they ran the drill, and of the 25 or so reps I charted, I think there were 3 incomplete passes. I mean, the offense just has dominated this drill. On Saturday, I charted 22 reps. Now, it's fast and furious, so I didn't get to chart every single one of them, but I charted 22 reps, and of the 22 reps, only 5 balls were completed. Some of those, there were open receivers. There was one play, for example, where Chris Hilton absolutely dusted Tamarcus Cooley. No, I'm sorry. Jakeem Jackson. It was one of the transfers. It wasn't Cooley. It was Jackson. And Hilton's going to do that to a lot of guys. But Nuss missed him. It was a very windy day, and they were standing in the middle of the field. It was an end zone shot, so it was about a 50-yard pass. And it was a very windy day, and Nuss probably just had to probably felt like he had to just put a lot behind it, and he missed it, but he was open. But 5 balls were complete that I charted. I almost called him DJ Stingley. DJ Pickett, although it feels kind of appropriate considering the contract Stingley just got and what we saw the other day, but DJ Pickett had 3 reps. He won all 3 reps against Berrien Brown, who might be the fastest player in college football. That's what that report was last week. Teron Francis, who's a fellow freshman. Oh, and Chris Hilton won all 3 reps. True freshman in his first spring, won all 3 reps in that drill he took. It was impressive to watch Mansour Delane as well, who had impressive wins over Berrien Brown and Teron Francis. Those two dudes, like, you don't have to have played the game. You can just see that's different. The offensive line shuffle continued as well. We saw Braylon Moore and DJ Chester both take reps at starting with the ones at center and at right guard. Seeing Braylon Moore take reps at guard was interesting. Cohen Eccles even took a few snaps with the first unit at right guard. So Brian Kelly's talked about it. That's a pretty fluid situation on the offensive line, and I believe him. I mean, everything suggests that, and you don't even have Josh Thompson here yet. Remember, the Northwestern transfer, we reported last week he's still in Evanston. Their quarter ends on this coming Friday, the 21st, and then he'll be here for the second half of spring. So we reported that over at LouisianaSports.net. You can get my full write-up of the practice report, by the way, at LouisianaSports.net. Some other takeaways. There are 2 transfers that physically just pop, and they're impossible to ignore. Bauer Sharp, the tight end from Oklahoma, Jack Pyburn, the defensive end from Florida. It's just noticeable that those are guys that are 4th and 5th year guys that are physically filled out and immediately ready. One of the things Brian Kelly said when he was asked about the transfers after practice was kind of about the, I think this is 17. It was kind of about their mindset in coming here, and this made a lot of sense.
And these guys are, they're here to win a championship. I mean, you go out there today, I don't know, you guys are at practice, right? I mean, you don't hear a bunch of talking. I mean, it is business. I mean, they are here to win a championship, and they take their craft serious. They go to work, and it's fun.
Bauer Sharp, I was told, by the way, he's wearing number 10. Paul, you can keep rolling that video if you want back screen. Bauer Sharp, when they went inside and continued the scrimmage, I was told they hit him on a couple of seam routes, and he is just they ran a lot of 2 tight end sets, and I think this is something we are going to see a ton of. Trey'Dez flexed, Bauer Sharp attached. Both of those guys are going to have a key role. It's just very obvious. Like, you're not taking these 2 guys off the field. They both create mismatches in different ways. My goodness, is it going to be fun to watch these guys as they progress? But what Brian Kelly said there about the transfers was very appropriate. Like, it's true. And I'm not going to say that because you don't have guys hooping and hollering and being loud, that's a good thing, because in fall camp, we told you the story about Blake Baker, catching a ball on the sidelines, dropping one and getting down doing push-ups, and all the guys were energized. There's a lot of different ways about it. But when you hear a guy like Jack Pyburn, who's been here, now only for 5 practices and is already a vocal leader on the team, that is impressive. We got to see, and this is, if there's one disappointing part from Saturday, it was that they were starting to do their scrimmage period, 11-on-11, full pad, full contact, and we got to see 4 plays. The Lightning came, they went inside and finished the scrimmage inside. But the 4 plays we saw, first play, Caden Durham stretch around left end, turned it for about 15 yards. Second down, the second play, they ran a read option with Garrett Nussmeier, who kept the ball for about a 20-yard gain around the right side. You'll all be very happy to know. Joe Sloan actually turned back and looked at the media and was like, even y'all like that, huh? The third play, Caden Durham took a handoff to the right side. Austin Osbury, who's playing the star, beautiful, filled the gap, stuffed Durham right at the line of scrimmage. And then on the fourth play, Tamarcus Cooley, who's kind of playing the nickel safety, they ran a 10-yard out for Aaron Anderson, and Tamarcus Cooley had great coverage and knocked it down. They're just better defensively, y'all. Like, the talent, it's just so obvious. As bad as they were at safety a year ago, in part because of Jordan Gilbert's injury, in part because they had guys that just weren't good, and that you were young at corner and spots. They're just better. Like, they're better. When they went 11-on-11, these were the starters on the first-team offense. Nuss at quarterback, Durham at running back, Trey'Dez at tight end. Your receivers were Xavion Thomas, Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, and your offensive line left to right was Adams, Mubenga, Chester, Bordelon, Davis. That was the ones when first-team offense. Defense, your ends were Relaford and Pyburn. Your tackles were Don McKinley and Ahmad Bro. Your linebackers were West Weeks and Devon Keys. Austin Osbury played the star. Your first-team cornerbacks were Ashton Stamps, Jakeem Jackson, and then the safeties were Toviano and Cooley. Again, that's just what they started with for the plays we got to see, but looking forward to getting out there on Tuesday and seeing much more as we get out there. Any other notes that I had? Tyler Miller, Brett Bordelon, Ori Williams, all were not participating. Jordan Gilbert, Brian Kelly confirmed afterwards, out for the entire spring. He had shoulder surgery. So we'll continue to watch all these guys progress here throughout this spring. But 5 practices in the books, and it was nice to get an extended look at the guys on Saturday on the Ponderosa. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.